Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Babaji Kriya Babaji.
Om Kriya Balaji Namo. Namaste. It is with love and with really great joy that we welcome you here together with Chinmayji and with all the team of the SatSangha. First of all, I would like to express my profound gratitude to all the teachers of our lineage for their presence. And also to all the members of the team spread all over the world as sparkles, being part of oneness and collaborating, manifesting divine's grace here. Thank you. Today we are celebrating Shivaratri, and we are also celebrating the anniversary of the creation of this international regular meetings that by coincidence actually started, one could say, on the last Shivaratri last year. It was a very mystical moment and very precious. And at that time, as a team, we actually wrote a letter with our intentions inside of it. And we decided that for the beginning of today's meeting, it would be actually beautiful to share with you what we wrote last year. So I'm going to read to you this right now. It's just some pieces of what we wrote. So here it is. We really felt that Babaji and the Siddhas are working very strongly through the inspiration of the international Kriya meetings. And it is also interesting to note that we got this inspiration before the global situation changed so drastically. It is also important to note the Shivaratri celebration that we all had together and the powerful darshan that occurred. This is last year, Shivaratri. It is as something was preparing. We believe that Babaji's inspiration about the international meetings was visionary, and it already managed to unite so many Kriya bands worldwide. This we wrote on the 15th of March, 2020. In such an efficient way. And we all have noticed the surprising thing is that even without being physically together, Guru's grace is felt in the participants. So the message that came today is, if we as Kriyabans find refuge in awareness, we actually see that beyond the apparent chaos and fear, Guru gives us a colossal opportunity to act consciously, being a vehicle for even a greater change, for even a greater charge of divine Shakti for the uplifting of all. Let us incarnate the spirit of unity, brotherhood, peace, and bliss. So these were the words we as a team wrote 1 year ago. And even though we were, dreamers and so inspired, I think that we would not even imagine how big and how beautiful it actually would become. So words have great force, great strength. And I would like to refer to a phrase of our teacher Satyananda, which was always my source of inspiration. This phrase is, a visionary is one who remains faithful to their dreams. So if we have love in our hearts, we can become instruments for a higher force to bring beauty, harmony, and peace to all. Om Kriya Babaji Namo.
Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Thank you, Nevena, for this perfect summary of an intense and very articulate year. And it is actually with great pleasure that I thank you all, because this connection beyond the limits of space and time was actually possible because of this great change we are all facing. And personally, it was a great learning experience and an immense opportunity to know Kriyabans, organizers, Acharyas, volunteers throughout the whole world, and to somehow prototype a real telepathic way to communicate among people who barely know each other. And personally, I like to underline that although we didn't know each other before last Mahasivaratri, it is like remembering old friends with you and with all the members of the team afterwards. So thank you. And we are happy to give word and space to Satyananda, who is going to guide us through the use of this long event ahead of us and to say some words about the meaning of this day. Thank you.
Namaste. Om Kriya Babaji Nama Om. Let me ask you, does it work? Do
Yes.
you hear me? Namaste. Because I do not have a feedback slope at the moment. So I want to make sure that you all can hear me. Is it fine? Okay, good.
Yes.
Good. Fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your being present here with us. And thank you, Nevenaji and Chinmaji, for introducing to this special event, which we have some opportunity and some time now to dive into. So it will be a long time we will spend together today, like maybe not uninterrupted, but behind the scene, in fact, uninterruptedly. Yeah, I'm happy that Nivena and Chinmay were talking to you. I'm very pleased, very happy that you were giving your voice and your face and your presence, because I really have to admit that with them, the whole thing was able to take place. We have groups, we have Acharyas to be present through the day and the night, the coming night, but they did the main work. So I'm really happy to, like I would always say in my initiation seminars at the location, without the organizers and without the team, we would just meet on the street and would not be aware of each other. So here on Zoom, it is the same. So my great thanks to the Satsang team, and also the ones who are not exactly the dominant ones, but on the background supporting all of them. So my great gratitude and appreciation to them. So I still keep Babaji with me, as you know from the satsangs. We want to say a few words about the great Shiva night. Before, in Sri Lanka, we will start the auspicious sadhana and the night practice. Of course, there are so many possibilities to place Shiva in the foreground with pictures and with the mantras, and we will also do. However, I know from great Indian traditions of different kind, and also from our Kriya Yoga sisters and brothers and communities, that we always find the opportunity to reach through the Guru of our highest inner self, and also the Guru of the lineage, to the Guru which is being celebrated on that day so much. And there is no one as Guru, so to speak, as figure, as embodiment, more apt to reflect the universality, like the absolute source and of everything without differentiation, than Shiva. So I was actually trying to not put too much time to lecture, because today is a day of practice and of celebration, of sadhana. We do have volunteers who contribute and participate, and that can be done through the expression of bhava, of bhakti, of devotion. And on the Zoom, on the interface, because we are humans and we communicate, we meet through touching and through seeing and hearing, the expression can be in words and in music. However, behind the bhava is sadhana. It is not concert. It is not a nice event, like, even though it on the outside one part may look like that, but I found it important to address this with you before we go into the program. it has a seriousness to it, but it's not about being serious. It's especially the bhakti yoga part, the bhava part, the expression of yearning for the divine. It can be very delightful and very happy and very optimistic and very devotional and very much with heart and feeling and expression of the self. However, there is also a part of silence, of deep inner practice of withdrawal. See, Shiva represents, if I just spend a few words on the theory, not too much, there's so much on the internet, there are so many lectures, like a few words about Shiva and Mahasivaratri before we dive into the sadhana. Basically, let me start summarizing from the outside. In all the Indian traditions, yoga traditions, and also cultural traditions, this is one of the greatest days, even beyond the actual Shaivite traditions, because we know there is also the Vaishnavite and Shakti traditions and different kind of branches and traditions. However, that one night has a very deep, profound sense of unity amongst all of them. And another uniqueness is that we usually also say in our lectures that Shiva would not necessarily only be limited to the one of the three, like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Maybe, like, definitely from when you're from India, you will know all the background that the third one was originally the destroyer, the creator, like perseverance, creation, perseverance, and destruction is Rudra, which is a fierce form of Shiva. Then it became Maheshwara, like Mahaishwara, like, and then later they turned it as Shiva. However, the Siddhas in the Saiva Siddhanta tradition where we belong to, for whom the Shiva represents the highest source of everything, what we maybe would conceptualize as God, but even that is a very limited form in the West, because again, there is a concept of someone there. We may want to understand that here Shiva is Sadashiva, Shiva is conceptualized in a way which will not give it justice, because we can't just capsulize the two sacred syllables of the Lord, of the Creator, like Vashi or Shiva or Yahweh, Yehovah in the Jewish towards the Christian traditions, expressing that which is unexpressible, the source of anything from where even the union of consciousness and energy emerge as Shiva and Shakti, so to speak, as the duality. So here we have an opportunity to go back with formal practice, with mantra, or just with remembrance of this special day, to connect to the ultimate source behind all the manifested forms and even the unmanifest forms. The great night, the Mahasivaratri, of course, again has a connection to the astrology and astronomy. We can say, well, this is the time when the year quality is changing from the winter times to the summer times. It is the equinox timing, the spring timings. Many traditions have the new year around the time. And there's a special moon, there's a special new moon night, which even astrologically is auspicious. Then we can say the night is also the night where we pierce the darkness into the light. This symbol we know from our tradition because of the Muruga tradition as well, with the spear, but here it is universally acknowledged that this is the night to pierce the darkness and to create the light, which of course maybe some others of us will say a few words about it during the day and the night. Of course, many will see on the planet that this is of high significance right now. However, this, of course, is celebrated through all the ages and through all the years. that we focus on piercing the darkness to reach the light, with the light, and with connecting to the source. And then there is also this saying that if you practice throughout the night with upright back, not sleeping, not going into the unconscious, then you receive a very unique, auspicious blessing of Shiva, of that source, the divine source. So there were like many yoga traditions who would also have a cultural, traditional custom to stay up in the night. And again, for us, this is not so unfamiliar, because we know when you did second and third level initiations with us in our Shaiva Siddhanta tradition, Yogi Ramaya has established that practice already in our normal programs, which is so unique for Mahasivaratri, which is that the custom is to practice the mantra uninterruptedly. So here the traditional idea is from sunset to sunrise to practice non-stop. So it's not really like about the fire. It is not really about the chanting. It's not really about this emotional part. It is about repeating the divine name non-stop, uninterruptedly, and submerging into that awareness. And not just for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes or half an hour regular daily practice, but for the whole night. Of course, there is also the significance of the artis of sunset and sunrise, and here they are connected. It is from sunset to sunrise. It is throughout the night. Of course, in the traditions there is fasting and there's customs of celebration and all this, but let us focus now also on practicing the mantra. There was some idea, but it is very hard to coordinate over the whole globe. We did already such a job to coordinate all the countries, Canada and America and South America, and then Europe, and then India, and then all the other countries in between. But there is the idea to really connect the practice uninterruptedly by chanting the mantra. And we do that in our second level and third level initiations in our mantra yagnas. We know that we are having the groups which are chanting, and then without stopping the Babaji mantra, we would continue to chant. So the next group would take over the previous group, so that there is no interrupted chant. So that is actually uniquely also in Mahasivaratri celebration as one major criteria. I know when I was in India, even before my Kriya, in olden times, as Advaita Vedanta ashrams, they would make like efforts that the people, not the single person throughout the night necessarily, because not maybe every single person would be able to stay up all the night, but the idea was that the mantra practice, the chanting, would continuously be there throughout the night. So we want to touch this idea here also today, so that the program will uninterruptedly go. And if there is no external person doing anything, like the yagna in Sri Lanka going on, or like another event, then we would, at least as the hosts, take up the efforts to keep the mantra running, so that we have continuous practice. So I would suggest to you, now that you are here and that you are joining, as it is not only like a 1 hour or 2 hours satsang, Sunday satsang of our normal form, that you would also dedicate as much as you want and as you can in constant practice. And it may either be that you really sit at home and really spend more time with mantra japa. May it be the Om Namah Shivaya mantra. We will also play, so many different songs are there. So many people on the world chant Om Namah Shivaya in different forms. There is really like an abundance of that. Or even our Babaji mantra. Like I know that from our tradition also, like I said in the very beginning in my words, like even the Guru mantra to call Kriya Babaji would actually pierce through to that quality, which is also addressed when we are calling the 5 sacred syllables Namah Shivaya, which is calling the divine, calling the source to us, into our heart, through different forms and through different means. So there is either way actually in the traditions, to either take one's own Guru mantra, because there is some traditions take it very strong that one's own guru is the guru which brings us all the way through. So even the Shakti, even the Devi, like even different qualities of the sustaining or the creating quality, the transforming quality, all that is manifest in the embodiment of the guru. So either that one is also fine. So in Sri Lanka, let me say a few moments something about Sri Lanka. Because there in our community, in the Sangha, we will have, like our Babaji birthday, the practice of the yagna and the mantra throughout the night. So we will actually start with our sadhana. Like now I'm already spending a lot of words to do a little bit of summary. There could be so much being said, but like our tradition is a practice tradition actually. So in a few minutes, we will start with our regular group sadhana in connection with our Sangha, our community in Sri Lanka, because there we will keep the connection throughout the day and the night. For them, now, of course, we have different time zones. For them, it is now towards the evening, towards the sunset timing, towards the normal sadhana timing. And we have just daytime in Europe, and it's even morning only in America. But from there, they will start with the yagna. And then on the practical level, also, we have this beautiful chart being made by Chinmay on our website. But just roughly the idea, there will be some important portal moments where there will be abhishekam, like special puja, also performed by the Sangha in Sri Lanka. It's a little bit limited now because of the COVID restrictions. Also, they are much less people than normally they are. But anyway, we'll try to keep it open, and we'll give it a spotlight here in the Zoom. The Zoom room will continuously be open, like we announced it. So you are very free to come in and join, and also when you need to go again. So you have roughly the schedule. The valuable times will be the times when there is the puja also taking place in Sri Lanka, so you can join that, because that is also connecting us to the traditional part of the sacred ritual aspect of this night. And it will go at least for Indian Standard Time till the next morning, until sunrise. After sunrise, there will be again our group sadhana, and it will complete with this. So that will be all the time accompanied and spotlighted by us. And you make use in between as much as you can by remembering the divine word, the two divine syllables. You may say Om Namah Shivaya in different forms, chanting or whatever you like, or you may say Om Kriya Babaji Nama Om, but do some effort. Like the last moments before I take over, let me remind you about the inner heart sadhana. Even if you have something to do at home, like it's a little bit challenging. We know from the monkey mind how hard it is to really concentrate on the divine quality when we are really in interaction with the world. We have the practices for that. That is what we are trying to learn also with the Kriyas, like Nityananda Kriya, like to bring it into daily life. But today, and give it like a little bit like of weight, to just sit and practice, and either with the mantra or just as much as you feel and can go into the devotion to the Lord, to the source, to life, to the joy of the life, to the joy of consciousness, of the light, and as much as we can, trying to connect that we are all one, that we are all like from the source, that we are not separate, so that the only one reality which connects us. It's not only Advaita Vedanta, it's even in the Siddhanta traditions. Like even our Siddhas, they speak about, even there is a philosophy, is it all one, or is it now, is there a soul and is there a God? There's all these very sophisticated philosophies out there, especially also in India. But all that can be transcended simply. Remember from second level Babaji's Who Am I? Like transcended so simply by just realizing we can't be separate from our creator, like the creation and the creator is one, and there is not even object of creator. So you go as deep as the guru may lead you inside to realize the oneness. So that doing with some tapas, I could say a few more things like tapas in a sense, like, oh, there's Sri Lanka there. That's very nice. I can see they are spotlighted now. Kriyananda Mai. I'll hand over after one last sentence then. Thank you for being there. We are in the whole world. We could say so many nice, beautiful things that we are all connected throughout the world, even though we are not like a huge community like there's the big ones, but we are small. But still, it's so beautiful to see that. Let me just complete the last sentence about the tapas. Like, it is a certain way of tapas, not in terms of sweating on the fire or doing austerities or fasting, but it is also a tapas to constantly remember the divine name, or to constantly remember the divine reality, the ultimate reality. So now we are starting with our normal Kriya sadhana that will give us the first kind of, after my words and our beautiful community introduction, the sadhana will give the first, our normal sadhana will give us the first kickstart. And then from there, we will go into the program. Maybe Kriyananda Mai, maybe before you just start with the normal sadhana and saying Om Kriya Babaji Namo Om, and let's do the pranayama, maybe please let me request you that you also say a few words. It's not about lecturing, because we know the real sadhaks, they don't want to lecture today. It's not a lecture day. It is not a, it's actually about sadhana, about practice. But what I mean to say is, maybe you can just update all the people who are here about the program. What is now the real situation there with you, and how we can continue with you through the night. I know that our hosts are going to provide the Zoom space throughout. We are organized that we are constantly keeping the Zoom space open. And there's also constantly like a window and a camera open for the community in Sri Lanka. But maybe Krema still say a few words about how you're going to do it. And then from there, we can glide into our sadhana. And actually, I will be around and others will be around whenever to the Sangha, to the community now who you are there. You can always log in again, or you can always stay and keep the Zoom running. So we will constantly continue until in Sri Lanka, the official time is over. And then in America, later in the night, the Acharyas there will also officially close. So let me, Om Kriya Babaji Namo Om, Om Namah Shivaya. Let me hand over to the Sangha in Sri Lanka, who is going to do the non-stop performance. Actually, India will also be there. I would always use them in one word. So because it is all the ancient Indian communities, India is like many from India joining, which is super great. But I'm so grateful for you in Sri Lanka, because you have the opportunity also, and the locality, and the place and where you can do this. So and the devotion in your heart to do it. So Kriyama, now I'll hand you over. Om Kriya Babaji Namo Om. Let's see if the mic works. Thank you everyone for listening, for joining. I'm very happy about this auspicious day. Om Kriya Babaji Namo Om. Kriyama, please. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Let's see if we can hear you. Yes, good. You speak strong because you're echoing a little bit.
Namaste. Thank you, Satyaji. I hope I'm audible now. Strong enough?
Yes, you are. Yes, you need to speak strong, I believe, because you're echoing a little bit. The voice is a little bit weak. So try to speak strong, but it works. Yes.
Okay. Namaste, everyone. Namaste, all the Acharyas and all the sadhus from all over the world. Namaste. We're so glad that we are connected via virtual satsang or Zoom, like sharing the bhakti, devotion, and the love together, all of us. So such a beautiful platform given by us. Thank you so much for the team who is behind the screen and doing everything for us. Like you're just doing it, like as Satya just said, like if they are not there, like this is not possible even. So they are doing such hard work to make it possible to, telecast all over the world. All over the sadhaks are participating. Again, there's no any doubt for it, like, whether it's virtual, whether it's physical, like the energy, they're like the same, like we are connected with the same energy. So I'm so happy for that. Yes, Satyaji, we are initially going to start with some bhajans of Shiva. Then we'll be doing the sadhana because it will be easy, because later on it's going to be 12 hours of continuous chanting. So we thought after the sadhana, it will be nice, the real devotion from within, like we could start the yagna. Some time for the bhajan to settle down. Start with the bhajan for about 35 minutes, and there's going to be our usual sadhana with 20 minutes. Later on, we are starting with the yagna. Yagna will be like starting at 6 p.m. on Sri Lankan time. I know, like when you have the like converter, you can always convert the time. It is also there with my side is there. So Sri Lankan time 6 p.m. we are going to start the yagna. When we do the yagna, we always do the pranams to the Agni, to the fire. Then we start with the Dibam Jodi Parabrahmam with the song Sun Salutation song. Then the chanting is going on throughout. There will be 3 Abhishekams to Shivalingam in between. So one will be Sri Lankan time 9 p.m. Other one will be between 12 to 12:15 p.m. The other one will be 3 a.m. So the Abhishekam, anyway, when the Abhishekam is there, like it's ongoing yagam, so yagam will not be interrupted. It's going to be there, so you can always make sure that you're allowing yourself to participate in the Abhishekam. And last 1 hour of the yagna is going to be the Mrityunjaya chanting. Om Trayambakam Yajamati Sukanti Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanat Mrityo Mokshi Mamrita. So that chanting will be for last 1 hour. Sri Lankan time 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. So after the chanting is over, we will be doing the Sri Lanka, it will be morning. So for the next day, like we will be doing the Friday sadhana, then the closure of the yagna with the Shanti mantra. You know, like this is continuing with Amman and Dharmadas is continuing the sadhana. So like those who are joining from America or like Europe, like you're always having the opportunity to make yourself participate in satsang. So, Satyaji, thank you so much. It was nice explanation. I was so touched about the explanation and how you connected with our second level, third level yagna. So again, this is not something new for Kriya Bams who are already the second level or third level, ongoing yagna throughout. We do that. So again, it's again the challenge for our monkey because of the night. Monkey might need a sleep and everything. So it's a beautiful challenge always bring awareness back to the source. So with the divine grace, let the divine grace help us guide us throughout this night. Thank you, Satya.
Yes, thank you, Kriyama. Thank you, Kriyanandamai, so much. Okay. Okay, let us check with. I would suggest we remain very casual, speaking to each other here on the Zoom. It's like we are creating a room together. So let me just before we really start, check with Chinmay and Ivana also on that practical part. That because once in Sri Lanka, once you start Kriyanandamai, then you keep going, right? That is exactly the point about the uninterrupted chant. So here in the Zoom, we need to make transitions because we have different groups and different people doing different things. So, but for you, you are really taking the part of the uninterrupted non-stop practice, which is going to start very soon and which will really go for a long time. So then we can also not really interact with you anymore that much, except from maybe WhatsApp, like on the side talk. So let me just check with Chinmay and Nevena if on that practical side, if we are set.
We are set, don't worry. Kriyama can start bhajans whenever she wants, and when we have sadhana, we will show Shiva picture for the time of sadhana, and then we go back to Sri Lanka for yagna starting.
Okay, so
We are ready.
Kriyananda Mai, like you said, the chanting will be like, how long will you do it? Say it again.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, then we will have the sadhana, which would also be 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So basically, in 1 hour, we would start the yagna. I'm just saying it repeatedly again. Don't take me like wrong, but I just want to make sure that all of us, we are now 80 people already worldwide, that you are really aware that you really reach the auspicious moments. That's why I'm saying that we kind of know, like in about 1 hour, the yagna will be start. So let us use in between. Maybe let me say one more word, because Kriyananda, you said like it is a good tapas for staying up all night oneself. That is one version of it. The other version is if some of the Kriya Bandhs of our community people, like they feel like they need to rest or something like that, then the second version of tapas would be to at least get up to the auspicious timings. That is why I was so grateful for you to give us the times. That will be the other version, like another version, even a milder version. If the body has challenges or you need to just sleep, the time zone is completely different, then at least you have our program where you can pick and choose and come in for some time, like speaking now to the community who is present, so that you can really like log in or come in to specific times, and other timing you go for your day. I know quite many they need to work also, like, so we need to do it like this. But if you are having the power and the stamina and really the dedication and determination to stay up with the Sri Lanka community, like in India, I think there is much heart and love for that. So I can imagine that many of our Indian Kriya Bandhs, they would really join also with the tapas to really stay up in the night and to receive the blessing which is being promised by just using this new moon, dark moon, new moon night for staying up and receiving special darshan, special blessing from that. All right, then, good. So I think we are going to go with Shiva's grace, with God's grace. Even one more thing I missed to say, Kriyamal, allow me to say that we have a lot of time coming, so we are not really running out of time, because there is the Nataraja behind us. The time was running out for my introductory words, but this is a very nice association also, because like we have the Tirumandiram in our tradition. Tirumala is very strong, like our book is out there with a dancing Nataraj. Chidambaram is in the place in South India, very connected to what Yogaramaya considered as sacred places also in our tradition and in the Siddha and in the Saiva Siddhanta tradition. And this night is the night of the dancing Shiva. That was also like on an introductory level still missing. Like this is the night when Shiva would dance the dance of the cosmic dance of creation and perseverance and destruction to initiate the whole process. So actually this symbolizes also the origin of the creation as such, like what our scientists are considering to figure out what was before the Big Bang, what was before the sound of Om, what was there when there was nothing there. So that is a big mystery. I was even recently discussing with some of the Kriya Bandhs about this subject matter. Like here, we again have to bow to the great mystery, like our mind cannot grasp. But what we can do today is to allow ourselves to remind us of this mystery. Like, so let me repeat again, don't just go into an emotional bhakti dance. We have a good time group. That is fine also. But the real essence you will taste, you will touch, when you really dive into the complete surrender and devotion to the universe and to the creation and to the miracle of existence and the miracle of what power was there to create this cosmic dance, to create this appearance. Like Shiva there. Okay, then. Now, that's it. Kriyama, please, again, you take over with calling the divine name, doing the Shiva bhajan and the mantras. Om Kriya Bhavachi Nam Om. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for being there. Om Jai Bhavachi. Om Namah Shivaya.
Satyaji, it's always nice to hear your explanation. Thank you so much, Satyaji. Yes, start with the bhajan. Om Namah Shivaya. So our Kriya Bans are here. Start with the bhajan.